What's up, everyone? I literally just got home from Santa Clara. Welcome to 49ers Coast to Coast. We're your host, Grant Cohn, Jason Aponte. Jason, I was just at practice. I think they just probably wrapped up. No Jimmy. I saw Jimmy there. He was on the side. He was on the side field with like a trainer or something. He had his thumb wrapped and he gave him a fist bump. He gave him a definite. There was a fist bump involved.
How did he look?
And then he
How did he
left.
look though? How did he look though? Was
He
he
smiled.
was he was he dashing?
He was dashing. He had that Jimmy smile that you love. You know, he seemed like he was upbeat. He never too high, never too low. Anyway, I have 3 Jimmy Garoppolo. This is a Jimmy Garoppolo show. I have 3 Jimmy Garoppolo questions. The first one, Jimmy won. Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play in this game? He hasn't practiced yet.
No. Kyle's pretty consistent with you at least have to get some sort of practice in by Thursday, limited or not, right? And in very few cases, I would say, like maybe a Nick Bosa or something like that, where it's just like, oh, he doesn't have to practice.
Snuck in as a limited guy on Friday. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like in those cases, but this doesn't feel like it. You know, what he talked about at the press conference was, I'm going to get out there, give it a shot. I feel confident. Try to get out there. Obviously didn't happen today. Nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say no. And a lot of the other beat writers and a lot of the other people around the team are expressing that similar sentiment that it's looking more and more like his Trey Lance this week.
Yeah, I think the same. It kind of seemed to me that Jimmy Garoppolo was saying the right things on Wednesday. Like, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. And yeah, you know, it feels a little bit better. So like, why does it feel better than a few days ago? Christmas cheered me up. Like he didn't really have anything concrete to say. He was basically like, it is what it is. It's a torn ligament. What do you want? I'll give it a go. I'm a team guy, but you know, it's painful and I definitely can't throw the ball the way I want to. So if you read through Jimmy always just sounds so optimistic. You're like sitting there like, he's going to do it. He's going to do. But then you like read the words of what he said and he's like, he's telling you he's not going to play this week. Hurts. Yeah. It's serious. I'll try, but I mean, it is what it is in Jimmy words.
I mean, any competitor would say things like that. And, you know, I don't like this whole idea of, well, make them prepare for Jimmy, make them prepare for Trey. Either way, it's going to be 40 runs in this game. Either way. Doesn't matter. Way. It could be Nate Sudfeld. It was going to be 40 runs. There is nothing that they need to prepare for. If Jimmy Garoppolo is 70 and his finger is banged up, he's not throwing the ball. He's not going to throw the ball with Trey Lance. There is nothing for them to prepare for other than the fact that Trey Lance can run the ball. That's it. Literally, that's it.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, this is a game where you're going against a good pass defense and a bad run defense. Your offense is built around your running backs, not your quarterbacks, even though you spent a lot of your quarterback. Run the ball. Run the damn ball.
Yeah. And they were going to do that anyway with Jimmy or Trey. So,
okay, second Jimmy question. So Jimmy was quite candid in where he stood, how ready he thought he was going to be, which is basically, we'll see. Kyle was different. Kyle came out and was like, look, I mean, he played through it in the second half of this game. I mean, that's my understanding that he, you know, Drew Brees had to get surgery, but Drew Brees had a real fracture. This is not, there's nothing moving. I mean, all of a sudden, he's very specific with the details and saying, basically, it seems to me he thinks that Jimmy Garoppolo should play through this injury. And it seems like he wants, if at all possible, Jimmy to play through. Why?
This is not going to be a fun answer. This is not going to be a cool answer. Grant, I have no idea, right?
It is the question, though, right? It's the question.
Yeah. And I think the question is more this.
Yeah.
Does he not trust Trey at all? And I can't give you that answer because I would honestly just be speculating. So the answer is I have no effing idea what is going on and why it is. Again, if you want to play mind games with the Texans, I don't understand that because, sure, they have to prepare because Jimmy Garoppolo might throw the ball more, but after what you just saw with an injury, they are going to run the ball 40 times. They have done it against better defenses. And with Trey, it didn't seem like in that one game, obviously Trey was a little bit banged up. It didn't seem like they wanted to throw the ball much, and it doesn't seem like Kyle would want to do that, especially knowing the advantageous matchup on the floor, on the ground. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand what it is. I really don't. Like, either of those quarterbacks are going to start, and it's going to be 40 runs. So what's this whole mind game with the Texans, making them prepare for two different things when the game plan will be the exact same, with the only exception being that Trey Lance is also a proponent of that run game. Like, I wouldn't expect Trey Lance to throw the ball maybe 15, 17, 18 times in this game, and Jimmy Garoppolo would probably have the same amount. So I have no idea, Grant. I really don't. I have no idea why he's so pressed to make it seem like Jimmy Garoppolo's ready. Or is it more that he just doesn't trust Trey? It's head scratching. I want to thank the 49ers for giving us this content to talk about because they just did a gift that keeps on giving. Literally the biggest circus in town in the NFL. I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. I really don't. I don't understand. It literally could have been as simple as, hey, man, he's banged up. I know I can win this game with Trey Lance running the ball 40 times. We're going to give him the week off and try to get him ready for the Rams game. Not, oh, we're going to take it all the way up to Thursday. We don't know. He's going to try to practice and give it a go. It's baffling. It doesn't make much sense to me in my mind.
Only thing I could possibly make, only way I can understand this is if Kyle feels like, look, I like Trey and I believe in him, but I haven't prepared him for this. This was not the plan. I did not want to go to Trey week 17. I mean, the Niners have been in blowouts and haven't played him. They've really bypassed opportunities to get him ready for just such an occasion. And maybe they feel like he really won't do well. And it's not necessarily his fault. He's a 21-year-old quarterback that they haven't prepared. I mean, his preparation is scout team, which is better than nothing, but it's not game experience. So maybe it's really Kyle feeling like, man, I don't want to do that to Trey. I don't want to do it to me. And you know what? Maybe there's something else involved here too. Jimmy, they've given you a lot of money. I think it's part of the reason he's still on the team. They want a return on their investment. They don't want to just cut you and be like, well, we gave him $100 million for 35 games. I mean, yikes. They want more games. They want a pick back. I think probably from the owner down. I don't think they really are that juiced to see Jimmy Garoppolo get another $1.5 million game check while he's sitting in the luxury suite taking copious notes.
Let me ask you a question, Grant. The reason that the 49ers moved up to get somebody at 3 was because Jimmy Garoppolo gets injured. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is injured, and this is the 4th year that he's doing that. And Kyle's like, man, he got injured? How? Oh, damn it. Man, I didn't know that was coming. Who could? I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah, man. It's like, that's why I kept being like the turn in the punch bowl during the win streak saying, hey, I know it's a blowout and it's great time. Why don't you play Trey Lance a little bit here? And in retrospect, he should have been getting first team reps just for such an occasion. I know you like Jimmy Garoppolo and you're all in, but like he gets hurt and you don't want to have to be in a position where you're hoping and that he can play at 60% with 9 fingers. You don't want that. You want to be confident in your backup in just such an occasion.
It's literally the reason that you made this move. And here's the moment. And you're like, damn, he got injured? I didn't see that coming. Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah.
It's literally happened every single year that he's been here aside from 2019. And
I just feel like there's something not being said behind closed doors, man. I feel like, the John Lynch tweet thing kind of was a peek into it, but it feels like there's, there was some bad blood after this loss. And I don't know, maybe Jimmy feel like he got thrown under the bus, so I don't know. But all of a sudden the message is Jimmy's like, well, I can't play anymore. And the Niners and Kyle's like, man, I don't know about that. Let's see. Really, this isn't as bad. It's like the Niners' message is it's not as bad as it seems. And Jimmy's message is it's worse than the Niners are letting on, which to me makes it feel like, what is going on here? Is this like the Niners saying you owe it to us to play? Or is Jimmy saying I might have played, but not for an organization that treats me like this? Like, do you sense those undercurrents as well?
I sense that there's something strange going on. And I sense that this team is completely in chaos right now. And everybody else does. Literally, Kyle Shanahan goes to the podium after you hear a worse diagnosis from the 2 most tapped in insiders in the NFL saying that it's worse than what you thought. So who's giving who the information? Then you get to the podium and you're like, yeah, he's definitely got a shot to play. We're going to give it a go this week and everything as well. And with all of these events and everything around this team, it is all strange. Everything, all about this is weird. And there is no real way to put through. I mean, think about it and get a real result without just thinking about just speculating. Like, it's baffling. The 49ers can beat this team that's in front of them in a must-win game with their rookie quarterback doing what they've done many times with their 8-year veteran. Run the ball 40 damn times. And it's easy. It's right there in front of you. Play solid defense. and run the ball 40 times and you walk away with a victory and then you reevaluate after that. This whole maybe Jimmy, I don't know, I'm not ready for Trey. Like, dude, it's right there in front of you. This isn't a game against the Rams. If this was the Rams, okay, maybe you sit there, and I wouldn't agree with it, but maybe you sit there and you're like, you know what, man, I don't want to throw the rook in there in this must-win moment against a divisional rival. That might be different. Is the Houston Texans, I don't give a damn who they just beat. The Chargers beat themselves. And Rex Burkhead is not Barry Sanders. That's just an atrocious run defense that the Chargers had. The 49ers are not like that. The 49ers don't need to do anything other than things that they've done this year against better opponents and against inferior opponents. So don't overthink it. Let the guy rest or whatever it is that you want to do and win the damn game the way that you won many games in this time with Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think so. You immediately went to, what does this mean about Trey? What does this mean about what they think about Trey? That's a good question to me, but I keep going back to Jimmy. What does this mean about what they think about Jimmy? And people don't talk about it because Jimmy's football royalty and he was mentored by Belichick and Brady and all this stuff. But remember what Martellus Bennett said about him? Mm-hmm. That's what a lot of players who know him secretly feel and whisper, that he's soft, that he shuts himself down. That's what they said in New England, that he basically shut himself down an hour and a half before game time, and they had to go to Jacoby Brissett, who was also hurt. I'm just saying, I think there's a little bit of like, dude, Kyle's basically said you should be able to play through this. This is something you should be able to play through, and I think there's a little bit of that going on. Again, we're gonna pay you to not play through an injury that you could play through. You only play when you're 100% healthy. Really? I think there's some of that going on here. It's not even about Trey. We don't even want the plan was for Trey to play next year. That's nothing. It's not even about Trey. He's young. It's about you, Jimmy. You need to play. I think there's some of that going on.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people are saying, well, he's just trying to protect his trade value. I think not playing, it lowers your trade value. Let me explain. Injured in New England. Injured in 2018. Injured in 2021. Injured in 2021.
Yep.
Who is going to look at that and say, well, that boosts his stock, man. He's been injured almost every single year that he's been out there. Yep. I don't get it. Maybe that's the reason he's forcing himself to try and play, so he can shed that. Because if he's shutting himself down to up his trade value, if I'm a general manager, I am looking at a guy who has been injured 4 years out of the 6 years that he's been asked to be a quarterback. Is that good? No. So I don't get it. None of this makes sense. It's not to up his trade value.
21 games. 4 times in the last 21 games.
You're not upping your trade value. No. You are perpetuating the reason that this team is moving on from you because you can't stay healthy. I don't understand it. None of this makes sense in terms of the way any of these people are moving right now at this point. It's a circus.
Well, I mean, Jimmy didn't say anything about it at first. It seemed like at first he was probably thinking along the lines that you were. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want anyone to know about this. Like, it's not good for me to get hurt again. But then he got all the blame for the loss, and John Lynch got a little loose or whatever happened. And, he was like, well, hold on. Actually, there's some more information you guys don't know that I wasn't going to talk about. But it seemed to him probably that he felt the way he lost that game, the way he was nationally televised, it really changed the view of him. Everyone was like, Jimmy, like kind of, I think his camp felt, well, better for people to know that he got hurt again and it's not really long-term serious than to have this be the last impression. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Again, I'm not saying he could play through this, but I just feel like Kyle's saying he can play through this, which is really weird to me. So anyway, Kyle's probably out of line with that. He's probably stopped. Because you know what Harbaugh used to say?
What?
Yeah. Harbaugh used to say, I'm not in his body. I can't talk. All right. Last Jimmy topic, and then we'll take some questions. Don't be a Niner fan here, or don't think of it from Jimmy's perspective or from the Niners' perspective. Be Judge Judy here. Be a third-party observer. Does Jimmy owe it to the 49ers to play through this injury if it's just an issue of it hurts and you may not look as good as you normally do?
No. Here's why.
Why?
I always side with football players because this is such a cutthroat business. And I understand that he makes a lot of money, but at any moment, a franchise can get rid of you. At any moment, they can cut you, and and it's whatever your signing bonus. They'll have to deal with the dead cap, proportions. And then you know what? Pack your shit, buddy, and get on the street and go find a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
So no. And no matter how you feel about well, he's stealing money from the team. No, they're paying him that. That's their business. They decided to pay him. Yep. But the NFL is a ruthless, cutthroat business. Yep. And there are plenty of people who have wanted to play through injuries that teams have looked them dead in their face, and there's been Pro Bowlers and MVPs, and they've just said, man, get the hell out. It's time for you to go. So, no.
I totally agree with you, man. I'm not a big Jimmy Garoppolo guy, but from his perspective, I could see it. Like, you know what? I'm done. This is weird. It's been weird since you traded for Trey Lance. You don't like me? Fine. Let me go. Why am I like hostage here? And then we all saw where this was going. Like, you pump me up, you say I'm doing great. As soon as we lose that playoff game, it's my fault. You're throwing me under the bus, and I'm the reason this season didn't work out. I think we all saw that coming. But instead of it happening in the playoffs, it happened week 16. And boy, did he get blamed for that. I mean, it was his fault. He deserved the blame. But it happened, and no one in the organization really had his back, really. And maybe he's just like, you know what? I really am hurt. And you guys think that I should strap it up for you? You're going to replace me in like 3 weeks? No, absolutely not. Good luck. And thank you for everything. I'm petty though.
It's a no-win situation for everybody right now. And this is it's a microcosm of the way that this was mismanaged and underestimated.
Yeah.
Kyle really believed that he was going to be able to pull this off and everything was going to be fine. You're just going to sit for a year, buddy. We're going to make the playoffs, have a deep run, and everything's going to be fine. And then the thing that happens the thing that happens every single year happens to Jimmy Garoppolo twice, and you're like, oh man, wait, what? Injured? I got to go to this guy now? No,
that's impossible. Jimmy injured again? That's like Ralph Wiggum running the team. Like, what? Oh, wow!
I love it.
Can't believe it. All right, that's enough Jimmy for today.
All right.
Scolasafati says, hypothetical for Jason and Grant. Kyle asked you to dial up a first drive game script for Lance. What types of plays would you scheme up?
Zone reads,
runs,
play action, run, Jimmy gimmies.
Yeah. I would look for some first down play action throws for Trey.
Right. Yeah.
And I'd like to run on second and third down a lot, even third down. You know,
misdirection off play action where Deebo Samuel's running the other way and he's wide open and all you have to do is throw it 2 yards.
Yes.
You know, those high efficiency EPA plays.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. You're talking those like play action pocket movement where you have the guy right in front of him. The little I like those too because early in the game he's jittery. And you gotta give him those those
are the highest graded EPA plays, man.
They are.
Those go. Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah. I mean they don't pass the eye test, but the spreadsheet loves those plays.
Those are highly efficient. And if you can get those for an 8-year veteran, you better be able to get them for your youngster in his first game to get him to settle down. Yeah.
I would hope so. That's the perfect time to get a guy to settle down.
Absolutely.
Angry Grandpa Backup says, Grant, I heard you say in a previous live stream that you are not a Niners fan anymore. What's up with that, bro?
Because I pulled your card because you said you wanted George Kittle traded. That's it.
True.
You revoked. I talked to Joe Montana, everybody else. They said you're not allowed back, bro.
I forget that there's people who are like just getting to know me, man. Like, man, I haven't been a Niner fan since I was in college. My dad's an old school newspaper journalist. Like, it was never like. First of all, I was never allowed to be a journalist and a fan at the same time. I always knew I had to knock that off. And I've been doing this for 11 seasons now, so it's been a while. And also, I feel like fandom is most of the time something you share with your dad. And my dad wasn't a fan, so it wasn't. Fandom was something for me as like to fit in school. Like, oh, you guys all root for teams too? Okay, I'll do that. Even though at home my dad's like, you know they don't care about you, son, right? You know they don't care about you, right? It's like, yeah, Dad, thanks. I'm 8.
Right, exactly. Way to smash my hopes and dreams.
Told you, Grant, he's gonna ruin Trey's confidence too. He hasn't done it yet, though. I don't know. Martellus Bennett has entered the chat. I love Martellus. Martellus is hella funny for that. And the best part of that video was the McCourty guys just giggling. That's the best part.
Yeah, they didn't say, come on, man. You don't remember this and that. They were just like, go off, bro.
Go off, bro. Yeah. Anthony Adams says, Grant, make a ton of sense, but it's difficult to share first-team reps when your starter still makes first-team starter mistakes. You still should have moved on. Doesn't Pittsburgh do that? Like they give Mason Rudolph 20% of the reps in practice every week or something. Teams do it. You can do it.
Maybe. Mike Tomlin's is a really good coach.
What does Jimmy need practice for? It's not like he's ever improving. I mean, I think he's good. Just show up on Sundays. Could be that the team Could be that the team O-line is more adjusted, comfortable to play with Jim. Having to play with Trey may involve different type of blocking, extension of plays.
Not may, it does.
It does.
Holding, holding, a lot of those guys have to block for half a second because the ball's out so quickly because it's already one read and I'm getting rid of it. Like, he doesn't have to stand there, and Trey will be a guy who actually, in his young, short career, went through some progressions, especially in the preseason. You saw it in the Chargers game. That's possible, but also can move and move with his legs. So, yeah, that's definitely true. It would be. It's a completely different style blocking, if you ask me. Tom Compton's going to have to block for a little bit longer.
Look, I don't know what happened over the bye week, but someone had it. There must have been a conversation. They must have decided, look, we don't want to play Trey Lance anymore. Because ever since the bye week, they've been, extremely reluctant to play him. And that's didn't change because Jimmy Garoppolo has a grade 3 thumb sprain, which Kyle Shanahan is basically rolling his eyes as he talks about. He's like, the fracture has nothing to do with it. Like, Kyle is so
loving this.
Frustrated right now. Well, how you created this situation, Kyle, and now he's so frustrated that it blew up in his. It hasn't even blown up in his face yet, but it's in the process. It's like, man, what did you think was going to happen? That Jimmy was going to stay healthy?
And
really?
If somebody would have told him at the beginning of the season and had a crystal ball and said after 15 games you'll be 8-7, he would have been like, damn, let's just roll with the rook at that point.
I would think so. So it's, yeah, kind of predictable. Kyle Sullivan says number 71 in Mayoko that number 5 is taking command over the quarterback role in practice and looking very good. Is it just me, or are more veterans pushing for Lance? Williams and Warner seem to be on board. It seems to me that maybe they feel like maybe Jimmy's out and it's time.
Yeah. And they know that he's going to start this week. Like, they know he's going to start this week. So you say all of the right things. And yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's time. The Jimmy Garoppolo balloon has kind of popped. Will 40 runs get it done if the corners get abused?
I'm not too worried about that. 40 runs will get it done because then that means the Texans won't be on the field that long.
Exactly. That's a great way to protect the corners. Kyle makes crucial decisions with emotional stubbornness. Hence, he has become skillful at using logical takes to cover his poor decision-making. That's really, let's do it again. Kyle makes crucial decisions with emotional stubbornness. We've talked ad nauseum about decision-making with Kyle. I think that's probably dead on. They're probably more to the point than anything I've ever said. Hence, he has become skillful at using logical takes. Yeah, he's really good at explaining his poor decision-making. That's true. That's true. Well, maybe he'll improve. But yeah, Kyle, read that. What Mark said. It's exactly what Mark said. That's it. That's it right there. Just undo that part of your personality. San Fran 49er fan says, I believe this is just further evidence that Shanahan isn't a great head coach. His blinders are killing us. He isn't locked in to the entire team.
I just think he mismanaged and he underestimated this whole thing. And he really believed that it was just going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be fine. We're going to be able to run it back and at least make some sort of noise in the playoffs while we give the rook a year to get ready. But lo and behold, here we are, where it's been more years than not that Jimmy Garoppolo has been injured. And now that it happens, you're just like, damn it, now I might have to play the kid. I don't want to do that, man. That's impossible.
Yeah. Nate Sudfeld time. That's impossible.
They could win this game with Nate Sudfeld.
Why not? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a running back game. Marcus Spears hypothesized Niners trading both Jimmy and Trey for Aaron Rodgers. Dude. Why would they want either of those guys? I'm just saying. I mean, what about Trey Lance is getting the rest of the league? He hasn't done anything. They have their guy. I don't get that one.
Jordan Love's terrible.
Yeah, but what do they know about Trey Lance?
That's the point. Yeah. I'm going to roll with the unknown of Trey Lance. I know Jordan Love's garbage.
Why do they need Jimmy Garoppolo too? Like, why is he in that deal? I don't get that.
LaFleur would die before he does that.
Situation the Niners have right here.
LaFleur, you get Aaron Rodgers from LaFleur's dead cold hands before that happens.
Do you think Jimmy and Trey hang out? Do you think they're like buds? They get like milkshakes and stuff. And
who's that?
Talk about Jimmy and Trey. Yeah.
No.
Just talk life, you know what I mean? Hey, how you doing, man?
Oh, no, it's like a working thing, and then like when everybody's like, hey, we're gonna go get a beer after the game, just like I'm going home.
Yeah,
I'm going.
Nathan says no Richie James Jr. for the rest of the season. Oh, if only they had Richie. I don't think he's coming back. Eddie Marcos 916 says excited to see all the faithfuls on Sunday. Let's show either Jimmy or Trey our support. I'm not a faithful though. I'm just gonna sit there and judge.
Oh, I took your card.
Smack Jones says, hey, when Warner said that Trey made them better on downfield throws as of late since Trey has taken those shots at practice as a long-awaited, well-timed diss to Jimmy, trying to cover his DB's poor performances. And no, I don't even see it that way because, like, look, it was a diss to Trey because they don't face Jimmy. I guess they face Jimmy in training camp. But midway through August on, it's all scout teamwork, first team against second team, and it's really on Trey to give them the looks that they need. And I guess he was saying, like, basically where I read it was Warner was like, look, Trey wasn't doing it right, and our coach wasn't doing anything about it, but I stepped up. I'm the team leader. I took him aside. I told him, now he's great. I'm the coach of the team.
Well, isn't it the idea of the scout team for them to run things for the defense to get looks and for them to make the play, like for him to put the ball in a place where the defense. So what if Trey Lance is like, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to actually make the plays on the defense as opposed to give you the look you want to see, right? Like, isn't the idea of the scout team that the defense knows what's coming, right? They want to be able to see it. They want to be able to see how it looks, and they want to be able to see the progressions of where they go. And they're thinking the ball is going to be going one way, and Trey's like, man, screw that. And he goes to the real guy that's wide open a little bit further down the field. And that's why they're like, oh, he's torching us a little bit now. Like, I don't know. Like,
not used to that. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, like I like maybe Trey's just like, you know what, man? I'm tired of giving y'all a look and having everybody act like I'm not ready. Well, guess what? Boom, over your head. Now learn. Now learn that somebody can do that to you.
Good call. I know you're not used to that facing Jimmy Garoppolo because Fred Warner is always very confident coming out of training camp because he's intercepted 18 passes in 7 days. But that's now you got a quarterback who throws beyond the linebacker. So that's,
and I went to camp, so that's like the truest thing too, man.
He was just trying stuff though, Jason. Admit it, Grant. You ain't a fan because you still want a job if Kyle finds a way to get you fired. LOL. You and Jay should do a bet over a controversial issue. Loser goes heads up with Sibilla full pads. I've never understood the like one-on-one football. Like, what is that? What is the competition? Is it sumo wrestling? First of all, I would lose to Sibilla. She's very strong.
Me too. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that.
Too old.
Let's play basketball.
Yeah, let's do something. Checkers. I think the defense can win this one for us. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, but again, the defense won't have to be on the field that long if you're running the ball 40 times. That's exactly what you did to the Rams. You did it to the Jaguars. The defense will be fine, man. Like, it's just, again, I understand everybody's worried about the corners, but what are you supposed to do when time of possession is 40 minutes to 20? It's just not gonna be that much. And I know Davis Mills is having a fine year, but come on, man. Like you guys are making it seem like this kid is like already the next coming of like one of the better quarterbacks. So he's having a very good season out of nowhere. The second best quarterback in the draft for sure this year so far. But come on, man, like just play solid defense and just run the ball. You should be able to beat this Texans team. Don't overthink it.
Okay, let's talk about Trey Lance. He's probably going to start this game. Well, we don't know for sure. If he does start this game, what would be your biggest concern? Your number one concern for the team, for him in that case?
That his evaluation gets all messed up and tossed around. Like, people will say, well, look, second start, already a bust. You can't do this. You can't do that, dude.
The Jimmy Garoppolo fans just waiting, right? They're just like
right. The Jimmy Garoppolo fans. This is what you wanted from week one.
Let's see how you like the criticism, Trey.
This is why you can't win. This is why they put him in there, because you can't win. Dude, if Trey Lance was starting week one, you shouldn't have looked at this team as any sort of playoff team. All eyes should have been to Trey Lance's development. Right. You shouldn't have been looking at this team as a Super Bowl team with Jimmy Garoppolo, to be honest. But that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are now, well, all you people that wanted Lance are backpedaling. No, we're using our brains. This is his second start. In his second start, evaluate it like it's his second start. I don't care if this is a must-win game. You still can't lose sight of that. And don't use this as some sort of attempt to dunk on the people who wanted to build a stronger roster around Trey Lance while getting him developed. There was a world where you could still develop him, put enough around him, and put him in a safe space where he could still execute to an extent that you can win games. But for anybody who was thinking that people who pushed for Trey Lance in week one was to turn this team into a Super Bowl contender, then you've got it completely wrong as well, too. The evaluations on both sides have been completely tossed off at this point. Right now, what you should be looking at is, yes, must win. Trey Lance can actually execute enough to win this game. He was this close to beating an Arizona team that was unbeatable. This is before December. Remember, that's not the same Arizona team, right? This close. Bad game planning, messed up finger, all erratic. This close. He can beat this Texans team. But the evaluation should always be fair. Second start. That's it, man. I don't want to hear this about, well, that's why they played Jimmy, and this is why you're all wrong. No, if Trey Lance started week one, you completely changed your expectations on the season.
Those tweets are coming first quarter after 1 3-and-out or an incomplete pass.
If Jimmy was on the field, they would have 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. So my biggest concern really is that the fact that I really don't get the sense that Kyle wants Trey to play this game. I don't get the sense that Kyle wants Trey to play at all this season for whatever reason. And Kyle is so good at proving himself right. I mean, if Kyle wanted Trey to play and had prepared him for this moment by bringing him in the fourth quarters of those blowouts, and like had the attitude of like, you know what, goodbye, Jimmy. I'm going to show the world my project. The way that was Harbaugh's attitude with Kaepernick, and you could feel it. Like, hey, when he
couldn't wait to unleash this,
couldn't wait. And when Alex Smith went down, it was like I got the feeling that Harbaugh was not happy, but like, well, here we go. We'll see what happens. And I just don't get that vibe from Kyle yet. I get the vibe more from him, like, man, that's next year. And I decided that, and that's the way it's going to be. That's next year. And so if he's not really prepared, if it's one of these weird game plans like in Arizona where he has to be a running back, and it's really Kyle being like, see, he's not ready. See, I told you he's not ready. Told you he's not ready. It's like, then that's what my concern is. Like Kyle, essentially. Kyle. The coach's preparation of the kid. Because as talented as he is, he's going to need to be prepared for this. And he hasn't been.
And the other thing is that next year, because he sat the entire year or whatever it may have you, is people are going to automatically expect him to hit the ground running, knowing that that'll be his, third or fourth start, depending on how things go. And that's not his fault. Again, no matter what you say about other people, they're at least taking their reps, and they're starting to learn the speed. What happens if Trey Lance starts to see that speed next year when he actually gets the starts? And then you guys are expecting this to be some off the ground thing. Again, man, what if the Buffalo Bills in year one, they watched Josh Allen airmail throws? They were like, you know what, man? I think this kid ain't got it, man. And they didn't stick with him for 3 years.
Yeah,
right.
No.
And they didn't stick with him for 3 years. And guess what they got? Like the patience with this fan base right now and the evaluation, again, it's the both sides. It's the Jimmy fans that want to see him fail so they could say, see what you guys were saying, and it's the people who expect Lance to be Superman right away when literally the golden boy is in a terrible situation, not playing well. Zach Wilson looks horrible. Justin Fields is struggling. Mac Jones is struggled lately. Jones has struggled lately. And everybody's just like, well, remember those other 8 games? Yeah? How's he been doing the last few games? So that's the thing. Everybody's going to go through their bumps and bruises. Just keep it all in perspective. That's all I'm asking.
I'm confident in Trey Lance, and I think he's going to win this game. And I'm bought in with him. I would want to coach him if I were a coach. I'm not a coach. I would want to coach him. I just want to see Kyle buy in. I want to see that he's bought in. I want him to show it with his body language, with how he says, how he acts, the way he calls his game. Show me that you're confident he can run the Jimmy offense, which is basically a training wheels version of your Atlanta offense anyway. Show me the confidence that you're bought in, that you do not secretly wish that you had Mac Jones or something like that. The minute I see that moment, I'll feel very confident. But I just haven't seen it yet with Kyle, and it's perplexing.
You give Jimmy Garoppolo the gimme throws. Give them to Trey Lance, the layups. Give them to him. They're throws that are 2 yards in front of the line off of misdirection. Please, Kyle, it's not that hard. If the kid can't hit that throw, you got bigger problems than that.
Yeah. Dean says, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions, Kyle Shanahan. Ha. Smack Jones says, I hope Kyle give him a great game plan. We've seen Mullins Beathard have great game plans for their strength. I expect to see the same setup for Trey. Yes. Agree.
Don't ask Trey Lance to sit there and execute the Jimmy Garoppolo quick throws over the middle offense.
No.
Tailor it to him.
Yeah. And don't ask him to drop back 40 times, like 20 to 25 to start, and build from there.
Run the ball 40 times.
Thank you. That's your formula. My number one concern for Trey is his coach. Me too. If Bananahan calls a game like he did in Arizona, it shows that he didn't prepare Trey enough. That's exactly what I said. I stole your idea. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate you. Honestly, whatever happens this game, I just want to see Lance get better as the game goes on. Progression is not staring down receivers. Yep. And it's too bad it's not week 1. It's week 17 instead of week 1.
A reasonable take. I appreciate you, Rafa. Thank you for your reasonable take. Welcome to the level-headed crew.
I feel like Niner fans are all like trying to talk like, okay, this is about to happen. This is about to go down. And I don't want to see anyone get crazy, all right? You be measured. We're in this together. It's a very important moment. This is the future of the franchise. He's a kid. He's younger than Vish. You guys got to think about how you want to react to this dude. All right. Second Trey Lance topic. What was the first Trey Lance topic? What were we talking about?
The first one was what would be the concern about Trey
Lance?
Oh,
yeah, the other part. Man, I'm tripping. All right. If Trey Lance starts, and it looks like he probably will, what would encourage you most about him playing? I mean, what would you make you feel like there's a benefit to this? There's a good side here.
Rafa just said it. going through progressions,
Yeah.
making things happen when the play breaks down, right? Because when we notice that things are all covered, Jimmy Garoppolo just stands in the pocket and he's just waiting to get sacked. Make something out of nothing. Yeah, there you go. Bring it back. Yep. Make something out of nothing. The idea of Trey Lance is to be able to make things happen when things are not perfect. Yeah. And Kyle Shanahan is tired of trying to be perfect with every play call, with everything. And sometimes you might need your quarterback to bail you out. And that's what it is. I just want to see him look calm, poised, operate this offense. But when things go to hell and there's, coverage all over, right? Because they're a good pass defense. And when they're all covered up there and you have a defender running at you, escape the pocket, get 3 yards, or maybe pick up that third down with your legs. Be able to do things that are outside of what we've been seeing, but just show growth. Just grow a little bit. And every game you should grow. The 49ers' goal, obviously, is to make the playoffs. But I would feel good as a fan if Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play these last 2 games and Trey Lance played both of them and let's say wins the Houston game and they lose the Rams game and unfortunately it pushes them out of the playoffs. But in both of those games, you see progression. That should really be what you're looking for at this point. Now, best case scenario is they win both of those games and then Trey Lance goes into the playoffs and does something that Kaepernick did when nobody really had any film on him, right? Kind of tears through the league and maybe Kyle has to he has to pull out all the stops to get a win and things like that. Maybe that's best case scenario. Yep. That's in the realm of possibilities, but you shouldn't be expecting that. And if that happens, great. But realistically, what would be a success? Both games from Trey Lance where he shows you going into next year, you feel much better about the guy because in 2 gotta have it games, he played well.
Yeah. Look, the reason I think fans should be encouraged is a lot of very important people in the organization have gone on record recently and said that Lance is tearing it up in practice. And I don't think they would just say it. Kyle's not the kind of guy who would just say something like that. Pete Carroll is. I mean, Fred Warner isn't the kind of guy who would just say something like that. I mean, he's like Draymond Green. He wants to show you that he's right, that his perception is correct. And he is correct. He's really smart, and he's also the best at his position. So I don't think they would be throwing around this praise just to do the Niners a solid. If it wasn't there, it wouldn't be there. So I want to see what they're talking about. I think that he probably has improved a lot since training camp. I want to see that. And if it's true, we'll go ahead.
No, well, and also Fred's going to be here with him.
Yeah. Right.
Alex Mack's not going to be here with him.
Right.
That's true. There's other guys aren't going to be here with him.
Yeah.
You have to set the precedent now because you are here for life right now, right, Fred Warner. Trey Lance is going to be here for a while. You have to play with him. So set the precedent now. You don't expect these hired guns like Alex Mack to come out and say, man, I can't wait to be. You're going to be here for maybe 1 more year. Maybe. And you weren't brought here to develop Trey.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Like, I'm wringing my hands a little bit about his preparedness, but they say he's tearing up in practice. Practice is a form of preparation. If he's ready for this, the Niners have their best quarterback on the field. I'm not going to, pussyfoot around this. They have their best quarterback on the field, and I know the expectations shouldn't be too high. I know you're already getting a little nervous with me, but it's Jimmy, it's Trey. All of a sudden, the running game should be better. They should go from averaging 4 yards a carry to 5. It should be a better run game right off the bat, and we're going to see the return of play action, passing. I've seen it in practice. They're actually practicing it. It's been gone for like 3 months. It's coming back. Teams aren't going to be prepared for whatever the Niners do with Trey Lance. Whatever they did in Arizona is not, hopefully, going to look like what they do in this game. It's going to catch a bad team off guard. It should be a really cool, it's not the debut, but this will be the debut. It should be a good one. I think those are some reasons to be encouraged.
More reasons to be encouraged and optimistic. Trent Williams will be playing. George Kittle will be playing. Yeah. Elijah Mitchell will not be on the snap count. Yeah, Elijah Mitchell will not be on and not a snap count, right? Like that. Okay. Brandon Ayuk is much more involved in this offense than he was against Arizona. He was an afterthought at that point. You are largely going into this game very, very well equipped. The run blocking obviously goes up when the best left tackle in the world and the best tackle, the tight end in the world are playing now. And Elijah Mitchell's going to play. Jeff Wilson's been playing better. Everything's in the kid's favor. So there's no way that you can equate both. And then again, I think this kind of makes the point about the Arizona game. He was this close to beating them. Yeah. If he scores on the 1 yard line as opposed to getting stopped there, they probably win that game.
Yeah, it was this was the difference in the game, that much.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear about airmail passes. Nobody cares about airmail passes when the other guy throws them.
Right. TW says Kittle about to play and not have to catch hospital balls. Wonder if it will change his mind on Trey. I think whoever gets the passes is going to like Trey. Whoever gets targeted, that's usually how it works. My number one concern will be if Trey's first 2 pass attempts are drops or misses completely. It's a wrap, and his confidence will shatter, and we will lose.
I'm not worried about that, actually.
All the more reason to give him layups off the bat. All the more reason to give him layups off the bat.
We saw that happen in the Chiefs game, in the Chiefs preseason game.
Yeah.
Right? First throw, right there to Ayuk, dropped. Guess what? Came back, shot play to Sherfield, down the field. That's the one thing that when we were at camp, when he was in the joint practices, when he played, he threw a pick, but he bounced right back. I'm not worried about that at all.
He would airmail his first throw almost every day, too. It was like, and then he would dial in. Yeah.
What I'm more worried about is sometimes Kyle Shanahan, when he sees something not work, he's like, shit, I can't go there anymore with this. And I'm just going to rip this out of the playbook. And you're going to not have him go back to it just because of one time you didn't see it. He's done it with Jimmy.
Also, Cap was like 24 when he started. Trey is 21. He was 25 on that stretch. He's a couple of months older than me. He born in 87. He was 25 in 2012. But I think Trey's more gifted, which is why he's the 3rd pick in the draft after 1 year playing Division II football. I just want to see Kyle act like he really wanted Trey. Me too. Not just 10 quarterback dives. Take a page out of Greg Roman's playbook. Yeah, man, let's see the play action. Because I feel like there was a reason you drafted him, I think, and it's what he can do. You're a play action enthusiast. You have a subscription to Play Action Weekly. Not, you know what I'm saying? And you wrote that edition. Well, that's what his guy does.
I mean, might not be a bad time not to use all of them, but just maybe a few of those plays that you drew up leaving Justin Fields pro day when you completely dismissed him.
Because thank you. Because you haven't shown them yet.
I understand you don't want to put them all on film. Don't put them all on film. Just
3,
3 or 4. Like, you
prove
know,
they exist. Keneal says Lance is generational. Buckle up, faithful this time. I can't wait. I'm excited.
I love it. So juice for Sunday.
Silverado Kev says pull the trigger, take off, or throw it away where Jimmy would take a sack, hit the layups, and protect the ball. He'll open up the run by being there. Yeah, just be a high-level game manager at first. Use your legs. And then, you don't have to do too much. You don't have to do too much in this game. You know?
No.
You don't.
It's the Texans.
It's the freaking Texans. Would be serious oversight to assume we will beat LA because we always do. I think McVay look at us and we may have to play them twice. Yeah, true.
For sure.
True. Agree with that. Yeah, that'll be fun to. We'll talk more about that next week. Ricardo says, Grant, tell Kyle we need Trey to better his Madden rating for next year and have Gutierrez run the ball. Yeah, I will.
Shout out to Gutierrez. It was his birthday yesterday.
How old is he?
I don't know. Good question.
What are the keys to the victory for this game?
Run the ball. Run the ball 40 times. Stop messing around.
Yeah.
Give him the layups.
Yeah.
Get those play action looks. Feed Debo. Just run the ball, man. Keep that defense on the side. Keep that offense on the sideline. Don't overthink it. You did it to the Rams. You did it to many other teams. I've seen you do it in the playoff game with Jimmy Garoppolo. Why can't you do it for the Rook? Yeah. Why can't you give him those throws in the flat? Why can't you give him those play action throws? There's a guy running open in the middle of the field. Maybe Trey sees the guy this time, and he'll let it rip. Just come on, man. Don't overthink it.
And the thing again, like run the ball. And Trey's a factor. Like just him being in the pistol or the gun or wherever, he's always going to be a threat. And like when Kaepernick was at his best, I always felt that they never really gave him a dynamic. Now Gore was great, but Gore was I formation runner. They never gave him that scat back.
How dare you disrespect LaMichael James like that?
That's what they were going for. But this team has the capability of putting Trey Lance and Deebo Samuel in the backfield together and let them run a zone read. They haven't even done that yet. Could we see that once, please? Please.
Look, let's paint the picture, 49er fans. Trey's in the gun. Elijah Mitchell to his left. Deebo Samuel running across. Ball's in the belly. Now the linebackers are frozen. Who's got it? Mitchell. Did he pass it to Deebo? Is he going to pull it? That split second of them just standing there, somebody's already running past them with the ball. This is where it can go. Now you're on 11-on-11 football. Now you're going to be running 11-on-11 because there was never any chance, unless you're the Chicago Bears and you decide to get beat by Jimmy Wheels. There was never any chance that Jimmy Garoppolo was going to take that thing out and run it himself. So you either thought follow Deebo or follow the run, and you can play keys like that. But you can't play keys when it's all three of them as a threat. That's why the run game should be so effective.
I mean, really, they don't have to win this way, but they should be able to win this game the way that the New England Patriots beat Buffalo earlier this year. Like, it doesn't have to be that extreme. Maybe they want to throw. They could probably win this game throwing 3 times. It's Houston. It's Houston. Don't turn the ball over. And you should be able to run the ball a million different ways. 5 times with Lance, 5 times with Debo, 15 times with Wilson, 15 times with Mitchell. I mean, and then we factor in your your screens here and there. I mean, there should just be a million different ways that you can move the ball in low-risk situations. Anyway, of course, I'd like to see them take some shots downfield as well. But
might not be necessary.
It's not necessary. You can win this game throwing 3 times. So do that. Final topic, and then we'll take these final questions. Give me a prediction. What's going to happen in this game?
49ers win. They win something like 24-10. And it's really just going to be simplistic. Just control time of possession, and that's it. I mean, you can't do anything if you're on the sideline on offense. That's it. Keeps the defense fresh, keeps the offense in moments like if you don't get a first down or third down, you're getting off the field, and you're going to have to wait 15 more minutes because we're killing the clock running the ball. Like, it should never be this easy. I mean, it should never be this hard to come up with this. Again, I understand that they just beat the Chargers. Watch that game and the Chargers beat themselves. Rex Burkhead is not freaking Gale Sayers, and Justin Herbert had a bad game, man. It just happens. And Justin Jackson, who is the backup to Austin Eckler, ripped them up for about 66 yards. Joshua Kelly ripped them up on the ground. It's very simple. It's right there in front of you. Don't get cute. The only thing that you could say is, all right, here's time to get worried. Nico Collins is a big guy. I really think the world of him from Michigan, but Brandon Cooks is going to be back in this game off the COVID list, and he presents a problem down the field. But again, you negate all of that by keeping the offense on the sideline. So I understand, hey, you get hit here and there, right? The Atlanta game, every time it's got hit. But when your offense is rolling, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be enough for them to do anything. So again, control the entire game with your run offense. It's it, man. It's simple.
I think this is going to be a 24-10 sounds right to me. And to me, this is going to be a big moment for the 49ers because I think even in the organization, the locker room, the reason that Jimmy's still there is that they're scared they can't win without him. He's like a crutch. They have to wean themselves off of him because they haven't been able to win without him. And if they could have some quarterback go in and win and just play the way Jimmy does in the sense that your job is to hand off and make some throws, just to prove that the formula works with someone else, that'd be a big step. All he would have to do is just play a mistake-free game, show some flashes, and I think the entire organization would be like, you know what, Jimmy, thanks. We're good with Trey now. We're good. It works. He's ready. I think it would be like a whole I think it's going to be a big sigh of relief for the Niners. Whew, he's ready, and we can do this transition, and it's going to be a good offseason. That's what I think.
And for the people that want to see Trey play over Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm going to leave you with this. It's not anything personal on Jimmy Garoppolo. I think a lot of us are starting to realize, obviously, this is his last few games here. And many of us have said, hey, thank you for bringing juice to the organization in 2017. And we thank you for the 2019 season. That's something that obviously we'll never forget because of how it ended. But at the same time, 49er fans are ready to see the unknown as opposed to what we know about Jimmy Garoppolo, and they've
not
known
a franchise
for
quarterback.
Many years. Yeah.
Not a franchise quarterback.
At this
Lance
point,
might be one. Yeah.
At this point, we know. We've known for years. Now, let's try some unknown. Let's see what the unknown
talk about
is.
Jimmy, they're like, oh, he might be a great sort of 2 or 3 year stopgap on this other team. Well, that's what he is. He's a bridge quarterback now. He's Bridgewater. He's whatever. He's that
Dalton,
level.
He's a starting quarterback in this league, though. Here's
with a guy breathing down his neck that just got drafted every time, and that's how it's going to be. No one's going to be like, "Hey, don't worry, we got Jimmy on a 5-year deal."
Right.
Those days are
Here's
over.
the thing: varying. I have Jimmy Garoppolo in the 13 to 18 range. The problem is, any given week he can be 13 or he can be 18 and anything in between. Right? Yeah. It's the inconsistencies with the play. And then when you throw in the injury stuff, he just becomes one of those guys that you draft a guy and you're not ready to start him, like Andy Dalton with Justin Fields early in the season, like Teddy Bridgewater when who was the kid behind him? Oh, well, he was the kid behind Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford became that, right? Those type of guys, those are valuable in the league. They are. Someone will come calling, but it just won't be for some high price.
Jay Rico says this $5 says Sherfield will be above Ayuk in the depth chart because of that chemistry him and Trey have. Hope I'm wrong. You should have put this on like an actual prop bet in Vegas, but I respect it. I respect it because I feel like you're probably right.
If you put $5 down on Trent, if you put $5 down on Trent Sherfield being an anytime touchdown scorer in this game, you're probably going to turn that into like $150. So it's got to be like plus 1,500.
I'd like to see some Sherfield back. I feel like Jawan Jennings has dropped 17 passes the last couple of games, and
he run blocks well.
Do is you can always bring Ayuk and Debo in the slot and put Sherfield out wide. And now that you have a quarterback who wants to throw outside the numbers and down the field, you don't need another slot receiver on the field. You might need a guy who can stretch the field. So I'd actually like to see the return of Sherfield.
So
I'm serious.
Debo in the backfield, Ayuk to the left, Sherfield on the right.
Thank you. I like that. This is a coaching game more than a quarterback game, in my opinion. Thank you, Chrissy. That's a good call.
I agree with that 100%.
That's a great call. Injury or no injury, go away. Number 10, it's trade time.
Jeez.
Pretty much all you need to say. Sorry, go away. How many millions of dollars do we have to pay you to go? Don't get cute, Kyle. Keep it simple, Shanny.
It's usually keep it simple. Isn't it keep it
simple, stupid? The kiss principle. Little Lord Stewie, man, you gave me $100 yesterday.
Man,
coming back more than 100 yesterday, actually. Should you scout out the draft picks for the 49ers since his 2020 draft was a bust? I want Kyle to listen to you, Grant. Love what you do.
Kyle,
but there's a lot of people who do a good job. Jason does a good job. Eric Crocker does a good job. It's more of a village.
I wish you were coming to Mobile with us next month, man. I'll tell you what I'll do, man.
Is it too late?
I think it is. It is. So yeah, but I think what I'll do is because they give us the film. Like you have to have a login to get in from the practices and everything. You know that like you go there, you watch the practices, but then they give you the film. I'll share the login.
Oh, that'd be dope. And what would be great is I could have you on the show and you could be like,
you better hit me up on the show. The content's gonna go bonkers out there. Shout out to get on my YouTube channel and get on my Patreon because I've got so many things lined up for the Mobile stuff. Man.
That's right.
Crazy.
That's right. If you're a fan of the show, you got to be a fan of Jason Aponte too. It's how it works.
And I'm a Grant disciple, so you have to, right? And we always have the same exact opinions. So
pretty much. Barry Kelly says I'm worried about Kyle Shanahan knowing how to develop Trey Lance and really wanting to develop Trey Lance, seeing as how he really wanted Mac. I mean, yeah, Kyle, can you please show us that that's not the case? I'd like to see that. Kyle Shanahan will look like he was right all the time.
I would love for Kyle Shanahan to come out and be like, I didn't want Mac. I don't give a who
that would
said
be great.
That.
Jim Harbaugh would do something like that.
Yeah,
Jim Harbaugh he would. If I see any quarterback power not within the red zone, yeah, man, like save that for the 3-yard line, please. Not
quarterback power is fine, just not 12 times instead of back of the line. Like
that's true. All right, man. We gotta end it now. We got Cohn Familia in here laughing. Appreciate you, Jason. This was a good show. I like your sweater. I always like to mention that you're very well dressed. A nice sweater.
I appreciate that, man. This is East Coast staple. You know, Ralph Lauren polo. You know,
I love Ralph Lauren. Are you kidding?
Yeah, you know how it is. You know the vibes. You know what? I'm gonna wear a lot more army green stuff. Like the next time I pull up, I'm pulling up in the long grad army green jacket. That's the one we're gonna do next. That's how you do it in New York.
I like that. You always set the bar high, man. And you always keep your you always say lined up. I look like a bum right now, and all the barbershops are closed until next week. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Sorry.
Hardest working man, though. Like this is different, right? Like like right now, in between, like today, finally. In between, potty training, my daughter and everything, and because we're home and everything, I was able to just sneak in a haircut real quick and just get it and I get out. Yeah. So.
Do you make the appointment before you leave?
Oh yeah. No. I make the appointment days down the line. And I'll be honest with you, if I'm gonna come out here with you, then I'm like, all right, I gotta make sure I get the haircut today. No, it's just because there's a lot of eyes on here, right? And when I scroll through the comments here and there, sometimes they'll be like, damn, this man is beat up. He needs to line up or whatever. I'll be like, damn, they notice stuff like that.
Every time I look at myself the last week, I'm like, oh, God, you look awful. Nothing I can do about it. Sorry. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll be back. Day 3 of Jimmy Watch tomorrow.
Thumbgate.